Peace and blessings. This is Karel from Heritage Hip Hop, inviting you to season 4 of the Heritage Hip Hop podcast. Mind you, before we start, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and make sure you click all so you don't miss any of our great content that drops at any time. If you're following us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Anchor.fm, give us a 5-star review and let us know how you like the interview. Answer the questions on Spotify, but most importantly, follow and subscribe to heritagehiphop.com for exclusive music, merch, content, and everything. Because today, not only are we bringing you one of your future favorite artists to the platform, being that we're the 30 for 30 of independent music, he has a story to tell, and we going back to the West on this one. So please introduce yourself to the people.
I'm Young Nicky. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I've been writing music since I was 10, but I just started 3 years ago. And I just been heavily influenced in music since I was a young kid.
All right, well, we're gonna start there. First and foremost, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good.
I can tell you're at the beginning of your cycle when it comes to recording music, because a certain way your music comes off. So let's talk about that and the influences that you have when it comes to music. Seattle is a very big music population. Is it real deep in hip hop as well?
Yeah, well, it's more, there's a trend going on. So in Seattle, just like probably in every other city, you know. But there's some work to me, like real artists that bring content, you know, because I grew up on old school hip hop, so you know, there's a new generation, so there's a new wave. So yeah, it's kind of 50-50. Well, in my eyes.
One of the old school artists that people consider old school that I don't is Mac Slug. Shout out to Mac Slug. He's an OG in the hip hop when it comes to Seattle music. And shout out to his song The Fire, because that's what got me open to Seattle hip hop. Also, people know about Sir Mix a lot, you know, things like that, which is old school. But who do you consider old school? That's a very interesting thing you said.
Like old school hip hop, like my influences was like West Coast artists like Snoop, Dr. Dre, you know, Easy, you know, Tupac, like that. Yeah, because I came out with a song called "Make It Last Forever." Like that's a R&B, 80s R&B, you know, by Keith Sweat. So it's like I grew up listening to old school music. When I talk about old school, I'm talking about like the music that, you know, my mom, grandma used to play, stuff like that.
All right, so what did they play? Tell me.
Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, you know, Sam Cooke, you know, it's like, I grew up on music like that.
Those are the pioneers of hip hop. For those who probably don't know, because all hip hop ain't rhyming, everybody. But Aretha Franklin, if you've seen from the movie, talked about how she wanted to control her own destiny in her career. Marvin Gaye, I felt, put out the first mixtape album ever. I could be wrong, but The Ecology is still one of the best albums ever made, and it flows like a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? That's two of the people that you said. Sam Cooke, you know, already by far, y'all know what Sam Cooke was into and what got him unfortunately taken out. So they said it didn't. But these are people who elevated the mind not only through sound, but a sound moral compass. Is that what you want to bring to hip hop? Is a unique sound and your own moral compass being like the selling point of who you are?
Yeah, because I always, you know, it's like how I grew up, I always grew up with, you know, standards and morals. And so, you know, I want to bring a different standpoint, you know, a different point of view of you know, of hip hop, of the music industry to the new generation. Because I ain't gonna lie, to me, some of this new music is, you know, trash. It don't don't have no content. And so I try to do everything with a purpose. You know, I got a purpose in life. So.
All right, so let's talk about purpose. I'm purposefully want to come to Seattle, and I want you to show me around. If you had to show me hip hop in Seattle, where would you take me, and what would you want me to see or meet, or what would be the number one or top bucket list things I have to do in your land?
As far as hip hop, I'm trying to think, because it's like I really don't be out in Seattle like that. Well, I know there's a lot of on Capitol Hill. There's a lot of open mics, like open mics. You know, you on Capitol Hill. So basically, like I say, I'll bring you to, you know, walk down Capitol Hill, Broadway, or whatever. You know, it just the vibe up here. You could tell is a big music scene. You know, and on Capitol Hill, there's just you can, you know, it's just like you can just get in tune with it.
The reason why I asked that is because most people want to make music, but a lot of people don't want to make connections. And the reason why a lot of us think music is trash nowadays isn't for the lack of talent, it's for the lack of connectability we have with the artists. Because if a lot of the artists talk about things that you can't connect with, then that disconnect is what's going to make you turn their sound off. What makes you able to connect with your audience or all audiences so people don't think you're trash and turn off the radio when you come
on? Because as an artist, how connecting to people, I think you got to connect with them at all angles. I can't be rapping about, you know, like money in a bit or Mercedes Benz, because everybody don't have that. Some people, you know, are still in the struggle, so you got to rap about that too. I just feel like you gotta how to reach people. You gotta hit all angles.
What's the most important angle you want to hit, and how do you do it?
To get where I'm at right now, just, you know, struggling, you know, the struggle of it all, you know, it's like you gotta go through a lot, you know, especially doing music, you know. Sometimes you're gonna do business that is good. Sometimes you're gonna run into people, you know, that you can you can't build a relationship with. You only can do business with. So yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs. It's not always gonna be, you know, sunshine. It's gonna rain sometimes. It's just, you know, really just pushing yourself through that. You know, them tough stages, tough situations.
I always say this: if it doesn't rain, you don't eat.
Right.
So you have to go through the ups and downs, because that's the only way that your skill can ever balance itself out. Right. Because if it's all good, you have yes men, and if it's all bad, maybe your effort isn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And hip hop was born out of the struggle, but it also is a celebratory music as well. What do you think brings people to your music? Is it the celebration or is it the struggle?
It's I remember a rapper said that. Nipsey Hussle said it in a song. If you sharing your success and not your struggle, you're a fool. I kind of live by that, because I think people connect with you more deeply about your struggle. You want to have people around you at your celebration that, you know, that ain't really there for you, or just, you know, you don't want to have people there at your celebration. You want to have people there at your struggle, to me.
See, I always say, I said this in an interview with one of the former presidents of Rock Nation. I said that a lot of people would judge a man for what he has, but don't value the scars he took on the journey or the road he took to get to that goal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And nobody likes a scar, but scars can be some of the most prettiest and some of the most defining things a person could go through or get in their lives. Being that you're new to music, not new to the culture, but new to recording and putting yourself out, tell me what's one of the major scars that you acquired that you hold dear to this day as you elevate and become more of a seasoned artist?
My name is Young Nicky, and my dad's name is Nicholas, and so I use that name in memory of him, and because I look just like him, and so just him not being here, you know, to see this happening, you know, this is one of my dreams since I was a kid, and he knew that, and so that gives me, I hold that, you know, to my heart to this day. Just motivation, really, it really gave me motivation. It inspired me just to keep pushing.
So you're waving your flag now. Yeah, say what you were going to say, but I want to say you're waving your flag now. Tell me what you were going to say after that.
Waving my flag.
You're waving a flag right now. And this is what I mean by that. Your flag is part of your brand. It's the embodiment of what motivates you.
Mm-hmm.
So like when America went to war, America always had their flags up, right?
Yeah.
If you go to a football game, the cheerleaders and the pet rally squad always got the flag up to let you know where they're from.
Right.
So your flag is the memory you have of your dad and making him proud, correct?
Yeah.
See, that's very major when it comes to who we are as a people, because family, legacy, integrity, morality, and standing on your word is something that makes someone endearing to people, because if the underdog wins and they keep their morals and they become a movement, if the movement wins, then the people have a voice. And if the people have a voice, then nothing can ever be shut out of a conversation. Right. What is the most meaningful conversation you give to your listeners when they hear your music so they can make it a movement?
Just basic motivation. I try to inspire just the way how I promote my music, how, you know, I come across, just, you know, how I post things on social media. I try to send a message out there, because that's just how I am. I just really think I'm just like, I was just like born a poet. So it's like most of the time when I'm posting stuff or doing something, I just do it off top. I don't even think about it. You know, it's not rehearsed. It's just, you know, it's just something that, you know, I don't know. I really got a passion for it.
Poetry is a gift that opens the world to your soul while you share your inner man to it. Hip hop is poetry to some people because of dynamic poetic rappers that capture, you know, the culture, like Nas, Common, Lupe Fiasco, J. Cole. Let's go West Coast though, because we're not gonna forget the West Coast.
Right.
Razzcast, Ice Cube, Kendrick. Kendrick. Who's my man? Ab Soul.
Yeah.
Those are people. Yeah. These are people who captured the essence of poeticness in rhyme scheme, as well as, you know, doctrine.
Right.
What is the one rhyme that inspires you to this day that whenever you hear it, you gotta write?
One rhyme. I remember when I was a kid listening to Tupac's Get Around. When I heard that, my mom was playing that, and that made me really fall in love with hip hop. No BS. To this day, I got all Tupac's CDs. Just something about that song, you know. Or I like Ice Cube. It Was a Good Day. You know, it's just, you know, them two songs is probably the most I got the most inspired from.
Okay, so what inspires you more? The rhythm, the beat, the lyrics, the timing? What is it?
It's the rhythm, or just how artists, how they come on a track. Artists got their own like swag per se, yeah. It's just how a person can carry a track so well, It's like, it's like when I listen to music, it takes me away from everything. And so when I hear an artist just do well, like he carry a track and it by themselves too, yeah.
That's heavy because you're talking about the first introduction of the song. Because if a person jumps on the song correctly, then they'll keep your ear.
Right.
So what is it that keeps your ear first? The beat or what they say and how they delivered it?
What they say, how they deliver it.
Okay, so check this out. Who you said was one of your favorites? Tupac, right?
Yeah.
When you first hear, I can't deny it, I'm a straight rider, you don't want to fuck with me. When that comes on, where does your spirit go?
That gets me hyped up, get me in that mood, It's like, especially like if you waking up in the morning on your way to work, it's just like walking down the street, you get pumped up. Music like that, it's like usually like probably some people it will influence them in a negative way, but that just get me pumped up like, okay.
What about in the middle of a song when you hear stuff like lost or crazy, scared to drop a seed, hope I didn't curse my babies, stuff like that? What does that mean to you?
That's like, to me, that's deep. It's like that bar, he went deep. It's like it makes you tune in. It's like you got a swag, but at the same time you can flip it to something deep.
Of course, you know who that other bar was, right?
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
That was Tupac on Smile.
Yeah.
I wanted to take Tupac verses since you brought up Pac, you know what I'm saying? I think the words in hip hop have been lost because people want to hear the lyrics so much that they lack the understanding of the lyric. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, because some things, it could be a dope artist and their bars or their lyrics can go over people's heads. Some artists out here that I like that, that are saying something, but to other people, it's just going over their head, But it's like, with me, it's like I pay attention to, what they saying,
That's a gift of art, because even Eminem and Jay-Z said it's the rhyme that I did not say that made the song. A lot of, I remember when I was in the booth rhyming, you always wanted to say every single line the hottest way so everybody can stop like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But then you realize you could put too much into it and you could take away some of your flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell me one of the songs that you really, that's a gift of art, because even Eminem and Jay-Z said it's the rhyme that I did not say that made the song. A lot of, I remember when I was in the booth rhyming, you always wanted to say every single line the hottest way so everybody can stop like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But then you realize you could put too much into it and you could take away some of your flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell me one of the songs that you really went in on and people just ran to you like, yo, that was hot. Tell me, I want more. Like, when was the first time or something you recorded that you got that response to?
Make It Last Forever song that I remade by Keith Sweat, because when I'm starting out, I'm rapping, but I'm rapping fast. And I came out with that song out of nowhere. Like, my family didn't know I didn't I was recording music. I just popped out of nowhere, a surprise. And so to hear the reaction, because that song's 3 years old, but to hear the reaction to this day, from people, and people give my, props and stuff like that, it feels good, I feel like with that song, I wanted to bring back, that old school vibe to me is missing right now.
Is that part of your style? Bringing back some of that old school vibe, so to update it for new ears?
Yeah, because I got an old soul. Like I moved, like an old soul. And so it's just, that's how I grew up. And, that's what, I'm gonna bring to the table. Content.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kareb at Heritage Hip Hop talking to Young Nicky, new artist from Seattle. That's Seattle, Washington on the West Coast. If y'all don't know, make sure y'all tune in. We got one of those Seattle Seahawk fans, the 12th man right now, you know what I mean? But salute to you, you know what I'm saying? I want to ask you this question though, because Make It Last Forever seems to follow the trend of bringing back an old sound to introduce the new voice. When people stop listening to Make It Last Forever, if they ever do, I'm not saying they will, where do you want to take them to show them that you have more to you than just pulling out old school records for reminiscent vibes?
Because most of my music is based on experiences. Like I got a whole project coming out. I just shot a couple videos for, I'm just preparing myself so when I do drop it, everything can be plush. But, I got a song on a project called Set It Off. And it's actually a song with me and my baby's mom. Cause I got a 5-year-old son, and she's actually singing on the hook and rapping a verse to it. And it's just a song about basically Make It Last. It's like a spinoff from Make It Last Forever, but it's more of a I'll say like a woman and a man having a conversation with each other.
See, I listened to the project Versatile, right? And when you tell me that, I'm thinking about the Young World Forever freestyle, because that's another flip of a Pac or Michael Jackson song, whatever one you know what I'm saying? And you're bringing that feel back, but then I listen to the other songs like The Calm Before the Storm. So when I listen to the music, I'm seeing that you have a lot to say and that you want your life to be observed, not only heard. In that context, what's the most important thing people can know about you when they listen to your music?
Different, What I mean by that, I'm not scared, to think outside the box, Let me do a record that, that sound kind of pop or country, like you got a guitar in it, but it also got hip hop, or even a techno and a hip hop beat. Let me try to, mix it up a little bit, stir up the pot, a little bit.
Experimentation is what makes the world great.
Right.
If we didn't have people who experimented, we wouldn't have hip hop from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have people that push the boundaries like Andre 3000, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake.
Right.
Even Rod Wave and his wave singing the lyrics. Moray. We have people who experiment and take things to the next level, because being consistent in what's popular leads to an oldness that makes good music seem dated. Why is it important to always be fresh and never dated, in your opinion?
Because there's always something new coming. There's always a new wave coming of music. The same wave that's going on now ain't gonna go on, 5 years from now? It changes. So it's like, sometimes you gotta move with time, or time's gonna move you out your way. That's what somebody told me when I was in the studio one time. Yeah, move with time, or time, Sometimes you gotta mix what's going on with this generation. Like me, I wanna mix what's going on with this generation and with the old school hip hop somehow. Let me get a couple people that I know from an old school that does music, and let me get a couple people from this generation and see what we can come up with.
I like that because that connects with what you said about being a dad. Now let's transition to that and come back to music because you have a son, you said, 5 years old. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When you see his face, what do you see in yourself?
See the same thing, just I see basically a genius, you know, creative, you know, hardworking, you know, honest, you know, caring, basically a king, you know, I say young king, you know, and that's my purpose. That's, you know, part of my, you know, my purpose to keep going in life. You know? Everything I'm doing for, you know, I'm building or about to build, you know, is for him one day. So he can look back.
You know something? The hardest part about being a parent is also the best part about being a parent. Do you know what that is?
No.
Watching your child grow up.
Right.
Because as you see them grow, you take pride and joy in seeing them develop.
Yeah.
But as they grow, you also introduce them to a world that don't give a damn about them.
Right.
And that's what makes our steps so meaningful when we find our purpose or something we enjoy to make something for them. The best songs I find out are when parents write about their children or people open their heart to talk about loved ones, dead or alive.
Right.
Or when we put life music into our music so that we can see, feel, reflect, love, grow with that song.
Right.
Has your son inspired you to make that song yet, or are you still working towards that?
I'm still working towards that. Like, I'm freshly new, so, you know, I know this year I've been hanging out. I've been with my family more, so I haven't been really on the music. You know, I do interviews, stuff like this, blog, you know, stuff like that, small stuff, like, you know, but, you know, I'm really, you know, tapping in, you know, spending more time with my family right now. So, you know, that's probably gonna come, but I want that. If I ever do a song like that, I want it on an album. I feel like my first song, Make It Last Forever, that was a hit in my eyes. It was a, you know, it was a classic. You know, redid a classic and made it a classic. So I'm aiming for that, you know, album. But I want to deep, you know, I want to hit deep. I want people to, you know more about my story.
The deepest rhyme or deepest lyric a MC could ever drop is the truth, you know, because we got so many people who will give you the fantasy,
right?
That they give you so much of the fantasy that they lack the realness that keeps us involved when it comes to the music.
Right.
What is the most important truth you learned about yourself and about music when you started doing music?
That everybody is not gonna like your music or your style of music or how you do things. And so I learned that, you know, not to take things, you know, to the heart when it comes to this music. Cause sometimes, you know, you're gonna meet people that you can just do business with. You can't, like how we're kind of having a conversation. To me, this is an intellectual conversation. You can't have this with everybody, you know, and probably build a relationship off of this, you know, just this interview. You know, just, you know, I'm learning, you know, I learned that, you know, not to take, you know, things serious to the heart, you know, gotta just keep it pushing.
Shout out to everybody watching and shout out to Young Nicky, because Heritage Hip Hop, as you see, does not ask the typical interview questions. We want to know who you are, especially being that the interview is based off of your music and the feel we get from it. So remember, everybody, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like, share, comment, do all that, and make sure you follow Young Nicky on social media. Song out and Make It Last Forever, project out, versatile, and new music coming. Now we're going to transition into the new thing while celebrating the old thing. How about this? Let me ask you this, because I believe I made this platform to give respect and honor the dead who people don't recognize, only to find out that there's young, new artists that people are not recognizing either because of where they're from or because people are so jaded by the mainstream. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you talked about intellectualness and things like that. And I feel that every MC has a bar of genius within them. It's up to us to bring it out.
Right.
What elevated you to know that there's more to life and then to want to put it into your music?
Just going through, life, as a young man, trying to make it in life, especially being a Black man, having a troubled past, in and out of jail, I've been through it. So, and now that I got a son, so I'm not living for myself, I'm living for him now. So it's just basically going through, life experiences really made, I always been open-minded like this, It just, now I got a son, and now that the music is kind of jumping off a little bit for me, and, I'm starting to brighten my horizons a little bit,
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, let's just be frankly honest. Hip hop is a so-called Black man's therapy that people could dance to.
Right.
And while people take joy in our pain, a lot of men are looking for their identity when it comes to a beat and a rhyme.
Right.
Unfortunately, in our society, you have to still entertain people to be given some type of respect, when as a man, you should be given respect from your birth, period.
Right.
That's a pain that's very universal when it comes to hip hop music and our community in general. Why do you think people don't focus on what's causing the pain instead of just dancing their lives away?
Like most people, like what you see on TV, social media, it's all about the glamour, the likes, the views, going viral, They rather go viral and look, cool, stuff like that, Like people just, I think some people just, they're looking at the glitter, they're not looking at whatever it takes, to, actually do music, the hard work behind it.
So I'm gonna tell you, man, the one thing, let's talk about social media. I personally hate social media. I'm not into it. I think it's the worst. You know what I'm saying? And I only do social media because I do heritage hip hop. If I didn't have heritage hip hop, I wouldn't do it. So to be honest with you, I want to ask you this question. On social media, we have a movement of people that hate. You hear all that in the background?
Huh?
Do you hear all that noise in the background? All right, cool. So on social media, we have a very big movement of the anti-Black man movement, or I hate Black men and I'd rather be with somebody else who's not Black because, or Black women are not good enough because they don't da-da-da-da. And I find that somebody's opinion who is this big can get so huge because people like to feed the negativity instead of cutting that shit off and putting out a balance to it. Right. Is that what social media does for you?
Yeah, I see the same thing, all the time. It's like, I don't know, it's like some things, shouldn't be said on social media. It's like most of the time, like how you said, you're here because of, your show. That's why you use social media. And I think it's like, to me, it's like, if you have something going on, or like you got a business, or you're doing music or anything, and you want to promote your whatever, your brand or whatever, yeah, it's cool. But as far as the love and hip hop drama stuff on social media, I see it all the time.
What you see is not what you get, though, because there's so many people who get catfished. Social media gives them a whole lot of drama. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. Social media the internet's undefeated because as long as a meme can make somebody laugh, your pain will live forever. But hip hop also gives pain a forever stamp because once again, it's universal. There's always going to be somebody who's hungry. There's always going to be somebody who wants to be sexy. There's always going to be people who want to have sex or get high. There's always people who want to forget the pain that they're living in. But music can heal a person going through pain. So what do you think is more important? Music made out of pain or music made out of joy, and why?
I say my point of view is just pain, just because of what I've been through. But that's a hard question because you can make the bestest song either in pain or when you have joy. You know, we've seen artists do that. So it's like, yeah, that's a hard one to even, because it's like there's no wrong answer with that one.
It's really hard to answer, but it's one of the main points of what makes us living components of life. Is that there's a yin and a yang, a up and a down. There's joy and there's pain. It's like asking, what's more important, loyalty or respect, like they're doing Drink Champs. Shout out to Drink Champs. But pain and joy go hand in hand, just like sunshine and rain. So I want to ask you this question, and then let's break it down. Seattle is full of pain because y'all got cop killings that's bugged out. I just had riots last year doing the Trump thing or something. That was bananas. But then you also have a celebration of life because people are being so creative that their creativity is calling out people online, calling out the politicians, calling out to others for help and recognition, and even to be seen, to know that they exist. How powerful is hip hop in your opinion, and where should hip hop go to keep its power?
I think hip hop right now, I don't think there's enough content like in today's, like there's content, but it's just like the new wave of music, you know, it's just like, it's kind of drowning out, you know, what hip hop was, you know, back in the day. So basically, I don't know. It's like, that's a hard question too, because it's like it's like the content of the music is so drowned out today.
Is it really, or is it that we're just getting force fed that stuff?
It could be that, because I mean, most of these, you know, mainstream artists that are making music like that, they're being pushed, you know, by the record labels to make this type of music. That's a trend.
Tell me a lie. Because I'm going to tell you this. I heard a very famous program director saying 75% of the music they play, they don't even like. They have to do it because it's corporately sponsored.
Right.
So because somebody's paying for that spot, not saying that the DJs are getting paid to play the music.
Right.
Somebody's hands is getting some green in it.
Right.
People are being paid to play certain content. It's like, if that's going to pay the bills so people can have jobs, and they're going to do it. Right. So that's why it's important for people like Heritage Hip Hop, allhiphop.com, A Squad Rebel Radio, just for some, of course, check your own markets and support the people in your own markets. Of course, it's important that we have podcasts and people who take to the airwaves with their own message, because the lack of balance makes you think all hip hop music is about sex, drugs, and shooting people. When of course that's not true.
Right.
Let's just bring that back to you. Tell me about the song Bounce, and how that defies the logic of today's mainstream hip hop.
Just the, you know, lyrics, you know, It's like a party song. Yeah, it's like the lyrics, just like the meaning of, like the title of that song. As soon you hear that bounce, people will probably think, that's like a twerking song, or it's just that's what's going on, and that's what I kind of tap into this generation that's going on music when I did that song, because at this time, that's what's going on. That's what's popping right now. Like I said, sometimes you do gotta mix old school with the new school, and see what you can come up with. So yeah, that's basically inspired by this new generation, that song.
Shout out to you for finding inspiration. I want to say this before we continue on with the interview. Music is a downplayed art that deserves more respect to me.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, people would pay to go to the opera. But
Right.
look, even only the rich people could go to the opera, because the poor or the peasants weren't allowed to be in the hall, because they brought down the respectability of the craft.
Mm-hmm.
That was real. And look at the nation. See, when you do music, you're in a family, and the most exclusive family in the world are the people who can sing, play instruments, and create beats. Not sample all the time, but create beats. Producers.
Right.
That's a very unique family to be in, because everybody can't do it.
Right.
So now when you find yourself in the music genre, you're still looking to be in the music family. What's the most important connection you made with somebody in music that you could call your family? And how do you teach the next person that thing that they showed you, so that you could create the hope and the bridge and the foundation for future generations to come to look up to your music?
I know a DJ named DJ Prina in Las Vegas. We've been cool for 3 years now, and I finally went down there for a radio interview, and just he kind of took a liking to me, because he noticed, how I do things is like I really try to put content, in everything I do, and he sees that. And one thing he always told me is like, keep that mindset, keep that going, because that's what what really people is missing, content. You're not afraid to be yourself. And he's like, he just told me, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, because you're gonna go somewhere just with the your energy, and how you do things.
Energy is the most important thing to keep you active. Look at Busta Rhymes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? His energy is infectious to the point where people are scared to verse him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Speaking of verses, what two artists could do a verses that would make you happy? Because that is you seeing yourself complete as an artist. What two artists represent you? Either way, that when you see the verses, that you will be totally fulfilled.
I would want to see J. Cole and Kendrick, just because they're more of conscious rappers. Yeah, I just want to see them two just go head to head, because Kendrick, just as soon as he came in the game, you could already tell, he was gonna be something. And J. Cole, to me, he got a smooth way of getting his message out. Everything, like, he don't have no, like, when you hear him rhyme on the track, he don't have no pressure to him. He just letting it, all out. Them two dudes, yeah.
That's very interesting. So you feel cheated that you didn't get the Kendrick and J. Cole album, huh?
Yeah. I was waiting on that. I'm still waiting on that. Yeah. It's like
we
every
we
time
ain't getting it. We ain't getting it.
no,
We ain't getting it.
no.
And the sad part is, if it really was a true album, it probably had like 700 people on it, so we wouldn't even get the real thing.
Right.
But that's dope though, because
Yeah.
you're real. I could tell you're a hip hop fan at heart.
Right.
So we're gonna have some fun in a little bit. Let me ask you this. There's hip hop songs that define you, and there's hip hop songs that create your love for it. When you said you hit Tupac, I Get Around was the thing that really influenced you. Yeah. What was the song that you loved that molded who you are?
I don't know if you know this dude. His name is Dizzy Wright. He started rapping, but he's like kind of new school, you know, but he's more of a conscious rapper. Fly High, just because basically he's talking about his kind of like his self-esteem, how he kind of built himself up. It's like kind of a message, you know. It's just like, oh no, it's just like I get in tune with that. Always been in tune, you know, with that song. Every time I listen to that song, it lifts my spirits more up. Yeah, that's a song that as soon as you hear it, you know, you hear him rap the first verse, you're like, okay, you know, it's like you're ready to take on the world, you know. Yeah.
So let's take on the world. Why is Young Nicky an artist that the world needs to know, and why should they give you the opportunity to knock their favorite artist off the pedestal?
It's because like I feel like I'm bringing that old school vibe back. I'm bringing that energy that, you know, old heads want to see again. You know, it's just I'm different. You know, I want to be different. I think different is good, you know. Change is good, you know, for everybody.
Different is excellent. But what the hell is the old head?
Basically like my uncle, you know, older homeboys, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
We have a new thing in hip hop. We don't say old. So yo, shout out to Young Nicky on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Give everybody your social media links on how they can get your music.
You can hit me up at Instagram at Young Nicky 90, Facebook Born to Lose but Built to Win, and Make It Last Forever is out now on all platforms. So is Versatile, and my music video to Make It Last Forever is out on my YouTube page right now too. So yeah, just, you know, take a minute and listen. You probably like what you hear.
And with that being said, y'all, this is Forever Heritage Hip Hop saying that we do not believe in streaming. If you like Make It Last Forever Versatile by Young Nicky, we ask that you purchase it. Make sure you put some money down and put some money in his pocket, because when you pay money for music, not only are you showing into the art, you're showing the artist that you appreciate his sound, and you're guaranteeing yourself more music and showing him that his sound qualifies and matters. So please, if you're into his music, spend the dollar. You don't always need a bottle of water or a bag of chips or a lottery ticket. That's your man. Support him and make sure his platform grows. You agree?
Yes.
All right. So with that said, this is Forever Heritage Hip Hop saying that's the end of the first part of the conversation. Now it's time to have some fun. Yeah, Nicky, you ready to have some fun?
Yeah.
Part 2 of the interview is called the Rapid Fire Questions. These are not yes, no questions. These are questions designed to show the world your depth of yourself, your craft, and hip hop music. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What song or album from another artist perfectly describes you?
J. Cole, Friday Night Lights.
How and why?
Just he talked to, you know, about his struggle, just with music, just, you know, life experience, you know, like, you know, and you turn it into, you know, a poem, basically. Well, you know, that's what music is. It's just, you know, kind of, you know, I can listen to that tape after I get done with this interview, you know, and just, you know, and feel something, you know, it's that type of music you always, every time you listen to it, you want to feel something.
All right, I feel that. So here's the next one. What is the perfect hip hop beat? Meaning, if that person never came out with that song, that beat would have been yours and the song would have been your first single.
I'm gonna have to go with J. Cole again, but that Work It Out beat, his first single off his major album when he signed to when he first signed to Jay-Z. Yeah. It just,
that's the one.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's like that got people's attention, you know, of him, you know.
If there was only one producer who could do your whole entire album, what one producer would you want to work with?
I'm gonna say Timbaland.
Why?
I think he's just raw. Like, he been raw for years and years, you know? That man probably been working 20, 30 years making beats, but it's like it never gets old, you know? From working with Missy Elliott, you know, and who else? He even worked with R&B artists like Aaliyah, T.I. You know, he even worked, you know, with a lot of other greats in the music, but it's just, you know, he just got a raw talent.
Okay. Hip hop question. What's different about Seattle and the West Coast California? How are they different?
Well, it's like most West Coast, I say with West Coast, they more stick together, you know. It's like, you know, they got their own, like, you know, Los Angeles, you know, in the Bay, you know. But in all their sections, they stick together with each other. Seattle, everybody want to be number one. Nobody's thinking about, let me go do an interview in California on a podcast, or let me go outside. Let me go to New York, or, you know, if you got, you know, people out of state, why wouldn't you try to really get your name heard, you know? It's like, we're not doing this just to get heard in our city. You know, there's other people that ain't from Seattle that never heard my music. And so that's where I've been trying to, you know, do more, is go out of town. Let me go out of town for a couple of days for an interview. Why not, you know?
So Seattle's more keep it to themselves, you're saying?
Right. Everybody wouldn't be number one, so it's like everybody trying to pull if they see you with a hot single, they're gonna pull you down so, you know, they can be on top. Nobody wanna work together. You know, there's a couple of people, you know, that get together, you know, a couple rappers up here that, you know, are cool with each other, but yeah, nobody want to see anybody do better than the other person.
I'm sorry to tell you, that happens everywhere. So
right.
That's something we have to change as a culture, as a whole.
Right.
You said hip hop needs more content in the interview, though.
Mm-hmm.
What subject do you think hip hop does not talk about that you would like to see it shed more light on, so everybody knows that this is a part of the hip hop culture, or this is an issue that hip hop needs to fight against or talk about?
I think, to me, because I know my audience is mostly women. Love. I think everybody want to be tough guys, but they don't want to, you know, old school, you know, back in the day, old school rappers are rapping about love, you know, and everybody want to be, you know, a gangster now, you know. it's okay, to write a song about about a relationship you had, or the love of your life, or whatever. It's you don't have to rap about what's going on in the streets or something. You don't have to be a tough guy. It's okay, to actually have feelings, and show it.
I respect that. That's what's up. Because even deeper than that, I think a lot of what hip hop has become is people are now breaking the box or breaking the mold to talk about everything. Because now we got to talk about people talking about NFTs. Shout out to Nipsey, because he brought the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to the table.
Right.
We got investment talk, not just block talk and who having sex all the time.
Right.
But we got other things. Like we got people really talking about things that matter. And shout out to the conscious MCs who showed the game that consciousness is quality hip hop as well. We still have that. Let's rock out of here with 4 more questions. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Here we go. Question number 4. And I kind of like this question. So I want to know, if you had to define Seattle hip hop in 3 artists, what are the 3 artists that make Seattle hip hop dope to you?
Well, there's new artists out here, just to show some light on the new artists, the new generation, because all new generation music ain't bad. There's a female rapper that I know called Sin the Slime, and it's her energy's different, it's like it's like she's like raw. It's like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B mixed together, but times like 10. It's like she's bringing that like type of vibe, but it's like she's doing it in her own style. You can tell that she's influenced, by them, but it's like she's really stirring up the pot up here, Seattle. Also, Chevy Shan, he's a homeboy of my cousin. He been rapping, known him for Seattle for 10 years. He been making noise up here a lot. And Huey P, he's another rapper up here. Been rapping the same length Chevy Shan, but yeah, he brings like that street love, like he can conscious, he can switch it up. Basically why I call my project versatile, because you can't be afraid, to switch up, your flow and rap about different things.
Thank you. But always mention yourself first. Okay? You gave love to 3 others. I like how you put yourself at the end, but always mention yourself first. This is your interview, all right?
Right.
Salute to Young Nicky for being humble. But no backhand humility. Honor yourself first, you know what I'm saying? That's question number 4. Question number 3. You told me who was the one producer you want to work with. What is your dream collaboration? Who would you want to do a song with that would make like a bucket list dream of yours come true?
There's another rapper from Vegas, but he's underground. He's a more conscious rapper too. His name is Euros. But he was born in Seattle. He was born in Seattle, but he was raised in Vegas. My uncle make music. My uncle used to work with him in the studio. He said he knows him. And yeah, just him, he's basically like versatile. Like I said, he can rap, he can sing, and just basically bringing that old school vibe too. He got an old school vibe to him.
Throwaway question for number 2. How did you like being on Heritage Hip Hop, and would you recommend us to any other artists?
I like being on here. I mean, it opened me up more, because I'm kind of dude that stays in my shell. I'm a shy dude. So, like, the questions you guys ask, you make me open my mouth, It's like, it's not no regular interview. So it's like, I actually enjoyed the interview, I feel good about, going to somebody, a rapper, and see how I know, be like, hey, you should do an interview with them, because you're gonna enjoy it. So I enjoyed myself.
Thank you. That's what's up. So with that being said, everybody, this is Karef from Heritage Hip Hop asking you and directing you. If you like this content, go to our digital real estate. Become members of heritagehiphop.com. We have exclusive merch. We have exclusive playlists where we break the artists. So anyone that you see on Heritage Hip Hop, their music is probably on our site. We have exclusive playlists, not only our breaking artist playlists, but we make playlists to celebrate other artists as well. And for February, we have the Black Love playlist, where we are going against the norm, where everybody's killing Black men and Black women, and we're making a playlist celebrating the Black man, the Black woman, the indigenous woman, the Hispanic woman, period, because that love is important, and we don't need to tear each other down to find something that we like. You know what I'm saying? Right. Also, you can follow us on all social media at Heritage Hip Hop, whether that's TikTok, Boom Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever, we're there. And our podcast, which is season 4, with this young gentleman right here on season 4, is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, and of course, heritagehiphop.com. We want to thank you for coming on our platform, but before we close out, we have one more question. This is the most important question of the first interview, which means we have an open door policy. When you drop your album, if you want to come back on Heritage Hip Hop, look, as long as you make a song that I like and we can have a conversation, you can interview anytime you want. All right. You don't have to be Billboard Top 100. Right. I don't care if you Billboard Top 1,000. As long as you stay true to the culture and yourself, we will celebrate you on our platform. All right.
Okay.
So thank you for allowing me to interview you.
No problem.
The most important question I ask is 500 years from now, when they go to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame or the Music Hall of Fame, and somebody says, who is Young Nicky? I don't really know Young Nicky. And they push that red button on the wall and your hologram pops out and they play your music. 500 years from now, a new generation will hear your music. So the question I have to ask, the most important question of the first interview, is what is the legacy you left behind that made the world better because you made music?
Being a light, basically sharing your light. And, like I said, most of, I was motivated in life, by pain. So now that, the sunshine, I'm kind of sunshine in my life, I want to share my light to people, basically being a light.
So everybody remember, whenever there's light, darkness cannot exist. Think about the speed of light and how darkness goes away as soon as you turn on that light switch. So if you are a light and you come around to people, not only do you bring hope, but you illuminate their lives so they see that the darkness is not forever and good things are yet around the corner to come. Be the light that the Most High always made you to be, because not only are you making music to save lives, or you making words and quotes and phrases to save lives, you are the example that people will watch to know that life is better and they don't have to be full of pain. And hip hop is not a pain music. It's a therapy music that gets us out of pain. Wherever there's darkness, there's light. Whenever there's light, there's hope. So be the hope to the world that you are by continuing to make your sound and changing the world. This is Karef from Heritage Hip Hop with my man, Young Nicky. Seattle hip hop, stand up and make it last forever. And we say peace. Make sure you subscribe, and we out.